Despite comprising merely 8% of the Earth's landmass, Europeans managed to conquer over 80% of the entire globe between 1492 until 1914, including Indonesia, whose colonial period was dominated by the Dutch as the longest colonialists. During the Dutch colonial period, they established the social stratification of the Dutch East Indies Society. So what is social stratification in the first place? The term social stratification comes from Latin stratum and socium. Stratum means level, while socium means friends or society. In simple terms, social stratification is the social tiers, rankings, or levels that exist in society. In sociology, there are 6 types of social stratification, to wit, social stratification based on heredity, wealth, power, honor, education, and social status. Social stratification established by the Dutch was classified into social stratification based on power, precisely political power. In contrast to the Spanish and Portuguese conquistadors who carried out conquest expeditions, the arrival of the Dutch based on economic motives. The aim of forming the VOC was not to control the entire archipelago, but to maximize profits from the trade monopoly to advance the country. The Netherlands is a small country located among large countries which apparently are not very friendly towards itself. As a result, they are always at war, while the budgets are very high. It can be seen from the VOC's territories in the archipelago that could be said to have built their bases near the sea, facilitating maritime trade. Everything changed when the VOC was involved in the Java War with Sultan Agung. Because of its involvement with Mataram Kingdom, the Netherlands experienced a sunk cost fallacy. The enormous funds spent by the Dutch on archipelago affairs also changed the Dutch's motives to recover their investment by expanding wider into the archipelago, peaking during the reign of Herman Willem Daendels. The Dutch changed from an initially trading monopoly to expanded power, meant that the Dutch needed a way to rule the colonial people in the archipelago. The Dutch finally divided the population of the Dutch East Indies into social stratification stated in Article 163 of the Indische Stadsregeling. The social stratification is based on race and ethnicity, classified into 3 social classes, with the first or highest social strata occupied by the Dutch and Europeans, the second strata occupied by the foreign Eastern group consisting of Chinese, Arabs, and Indians, and the third or lowest strata occupied by the hosts themselves, the native Indonesian people or Bumiputra. Can you guess where Japanese is? Second strata? No, surprisingly, they are on the first or the highest strata. An example of its application is, in the professional field, Europeans hold high positions, for example, governors, generals, etc. Then the foreign East class occupied middle positions, for instance, regent, wedana, or assistant wedana. Meanwhile, Bumiputra class is just lower ladders. Then, in the economic sector, the European class can export tobacco, coffee, tea, etc., while the foreign East class can own factories and trade wholesale goods, and the Bumiputra class can only be small trader. Thanks to the nation's heroes, Indonesia is now free from colonialism. If we reflect on the past events experienced by our ancestors, it is truly a blessing to be in an independent homeland. Now we are no longer shackled by the social stratification created by foreign invaders at our own homeland. This is the time for us to continue the battle of our ancestors by continuing to innovate for our nation to compete globally. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.